Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and we've got another episode of Rank the Tank here. So this is episode 9 featuring tier 10 heavies, and there's going to be a bit of a common theme here because these are actually all Russian tier 10 heavy tanks. So starting at number 3, we've got the IS-4. So yeah, for me, the IS-4, I love the IS-4. Obviously for various reasons. My first pulls in it, which was obviously featured not so long ago on the channel. But yeah, I don't know. I just found it not a bad tank. But you know, there's obviously downsides with the tank as well as upsides. I mean, you know, the tank has got fantastic armor. You know, it's got plenty of spaced armor on the side and rear of the tank as well, which is good. It's got a good heat pen. The reload isn't too bad. I've got it down to about just over 7 seconds. But you know, the not so good stuff is it's slow. You know, it's not very quick. You know, the gun depression, you've only got 6 degrees of that. The standard penetration isn't great on it, and the view range isn't that great either. So you know, you are going to need to rely a little bit on your team to spot for you. And I don't run sort of any optics on my equipment either. You can see the equipment in the top right screen there. Gun ram, avert stabs and vents what I go for, just to improve the accuracy and stuff like that. I've got Born Leader, Rapid Reload, Sixth Sense, Steady Aim, Snapshot, Situational Awareness, Armour Angling, Trap Mechanic and Clutch Braking. You could take out clutch braking, to be fair, or armour angling for off-road driving for the IS-4, just to improve the mobility slightly. But yeah, I've gone for sort of the equipment setup just to try and improve the gun as much as possible. Just because obviously I just want to make it work. I mean, you know, you could drop your vents for optics if you wanted to improve the view range so you can spot for yourself. But like I say, you know, the accuracy isn't great on this, but it's okay, but I'd rather sort of have the vents to try and improve that, so I can, you know, make sure my gun is basically slinging as much as possible. So yeah, so we're on Lakeville here in the IS-4, and we've come into the town and we're already in a bit of a pickle. We've gone quite aggressive, but we're going to try and use our armour to our best effect. So you can see I'm face hugging the pattern there, bouncing some shots. He is getting shot from tanks that are on the 4 line on the middle road there. We take out the VK that was behind us. We unfortunately missed a shot. That was a bit of a lazy RBRT, unfortunately, not properly aiming in. And now we're in trouble because we have got a tank destroyer to the left of us. We do manage to take out that pattern, however we now got to contend with this Jaeger. We're down to 183 hit points, and if we'd just been a little bit more clever by taking out that pattern, you know, aiming rather than being lazy, we would have been okay. But this Jaeger is in a bit of bother now. I'm getting caught up on this castle. This Jaeger, we've managed to track, and then he got retracked, and he's, yeah, now he's managed to fix his trap, but we're in a position where we're sort of at the side of him now. We're going to try and get round the rear, and this Jaeger is now snookered. But we have lost a lot of hit points in that engagement, which unnecessarily lost, to be fair. We could have avoided that if we just played a little bit more clever, not being so lazy. Like I say, if we sort of properly sort of got that gun round and took our time with the pattern, we could have killed him, and then possibly could have avoided taking a shot off the Jaeger. But we've come out we've come out the engagement, you know, with a little bit of hit points. However, we are one shot. We're trying to sneak a shot into the Taran there, but unfortunately just gets behind cover. He's paying attention someone else, so we're just trying to see if we could potentially sneak a shot in. And yeah, it's, you know, unfortunately we've got a lot of buildings in the way, but we try and sort of be careful and make sure that we don't get targeted and then obviously wiped out. This is another, it's an E4 on the mid road now, which we got side shots into. So we're going to take the opportunity to get some side shots in and try and put him in a bit of a crossfire and a bit of an awkward situation. The team itself hasn't done too bad. We are 4 tanks up, so we're doing okay. We've not got complete map control. I mean, the right hand side seems to be cleared out. There's nothing really over here. Most of the tanks are on the mid road at the back or on the one line. The one line is sort of being held by the majority of our tanks. Now I'm going to try and move up here and get into a position where I can get some more shots into this E4. Again, try and make it a little bit more difficult so that he's in a crossfire. It's obviously facing our 2 tanks that are on the 4 line in the mid road there. So I need to try and see if I can get some shots in behind. Now if he does turn for me, it's going to be a little bit awkward, but I've got this rock to the left of me which I can use as cover. Just trying to see if I can get to a position where I get some shots on. We've now been lit, so I need to be careful. We do get a shot into the rear of his turret. I'm pushing ahead now because the E4 is now pushing, so I've not got sights on him. He does get penned by the STB1, I believe. But now it's just Drogon that's on his own facing this E4. I need to get in and clear this E4 out because it's a dangerous tank. He's going to have no problem taking out that Drogon, so I can't leave this guy here, otherwise it could, cause trouble for me later. Here's a one shot to us, only on 350 hit points. Going to get up behind. He's turning, but unfortunately he gave us his side and we're able to put a shot into him, picking up our 3rd kill of the game. Who not really had a massive game in terms of damage, but we've had a pretty decent game with assist. I think most of that is spotting. There's a little bit of tracking in there, but we've got over 3k assists, so it's not too bad. But yeah, the damage wise could have been a little bit better. And there's only 3 tanks left, and at this point you can see sort of the lack of mobility, but this Tyrann has come round. He's got tracked by that Drogon, and we're able to put a shot into him, finishing him off. I've loaded the HE now because I'm thinking that medium tank's probably going to get taken out real quick, which he does. And now it's only the artillery left, so I want to try and see if I can get a shot in. That poor Drogon gets absolutely wiped out. So yeah, with the artillery it's just fired, I'm going to see if I can get a shot in. Do slap a shot in for 567, that's a nice roll. Now the CMX comes up in front, but the artillery still decides to go for me. I thought I might beat his reload somehow, but I didn't, so yeah, that's unfortunate. But there we go, we get the win. We only come in 2nd place. T34 obviously done quite a good job doing what he needed to do, but we do pick up 4 kills, 3.8k damage and 3.1k assists with 2.5k blocks, picking up the 1st class medal. And yeah, sort of ending off the game quite nicely. So that is it for the 3rd tank. We are now going to look at number 2 in the rankings, which is the Object 277. So the Object 277, a bit of a middle of the road. It's kind of, I don't know, I guess its playstyle is more of a kind of heavy medium rather than a heavy. Has got some really good mobility on it. Again, the heat pen is pretty good. The aim time isn't too bad. The armour is hit and miss. It's okay. It's not as good as the IS4. But again, it is sort of middle of the road. It has got some good turret armour. I think there is a bit of a weak spot though on the top of the roof, sort of right in the centre, just above a gun. So yeah, if you're in a tank destroyer, you may well be able to pen that if you just aim there. So yeah, there's that. It's also it's very hard to damage it for its sprocket wheel at the front. Its front sprockets are actually extended away from sort of the main body of the tank. So 9 times out of 10, if you go to aim for it, you're just going to track. You're not actually going to do any damage like you do with a lot of other tanks. The not so good things about it is it's only got 5.5 degrees of gun depression, and the armour isn't as troll as its IS counterparts. But other than that, it's a fairly, it's not too bad to be fair. Like I say, the gun depression does make it quite awkward in terms of sort of any ridgeline maps or anything like that. But in this replay we are on highway, so we don't really have that problem. We can make it work because we come to the town. We're going to sort of play a little bit of a heavy role here, and yeah, we pushed up with our team, quite aggressive. We're actually platooned up here. Not entirely sure who we're platooned up with. I think it's either Mass and Kingpin, or it might be Mass and Shady Home. I'm not entirely sure. We will see shortly, but we've come to the town anyway. We've got a track shot into the Lehman Russ. He has fixed it, and we're going to go for the lower plate there, which we do manage to penetrate. There's, let's say there's another heavy tank at the back there. I'm just keeping an eye on, and I'm just sort of side scraping. This tank can side scrape, but yeah, like I say, just don't rely too much on the armor. It's not as sort of trolly as you might think. Gonna try and see if we can potentially take out the Lehman Russ there, which we do. We get a shot into the side of that tank, picking up our first kill of the game. Now we're going to help out this E3, E4. We're going to get a shot into the VZ55. Going to see if we can get the kill shot. We do, managing to get our second kill of the game. Now there's an STI here who is hold down, so you do need to be careful. However, I'm going to try and see, or I was going to try and see if we get a shot through his cupola. He's just fired, so we managed to squeeze a shot into his upper plate there. Not a problem. And now we're going to see if we can potentially get another shot in. We tried going for the track shot there, but unfortunately we bounced. I think that shot just went a bit too high and just hit inside of his tank. But we do go for the lower plate, and we do manage to pen that shot. And now we're going to try and see if we can take him out, but he manages to get taken out by a friendly team. We've got a lot of the friendly team over here, but I'm kind of noticing that our base is a little bit slim. And yes, we have got, we are platooned up with Kingpin and Shady Gnome. We get a shot, nice shot into the side of the Avery there. However, we have exposed a little bit of our tank, and we do take a fair bit of damage there actually. Again, probably could have played that a little bit more smarter there. I was kind of expecting not to get lit up in that position. Maybe that's a bit naive. That's very naive on my part, to be honest, and maybe a bit lazy. Maybe I could have gone down to the bridge, come through there, and potentially got shots. But I wanted to get shots into Avery because obviously the Avery is, quite a pain of a tank. I just sort of wanted to try and get some shots in to take it out, but obviously I've risked my hit points for that, which is not very clever, so I wouldn't recommend that, to be fair. Maybe we should have just sort of carried on, got into a safe position where we could get shots in from behind like we have here. We just picked up off a kill on that grill there. Now we're going to try and see if we get a shot into this heavy tank, which we managed to, but he's now gone blind. I'm not sure if it's a heavy tank or if it was a Badger or a tank destroyer. We'll find out in a minute. But we have managed to get a shot in, but however we have got lit and targeted here, so I think it is possibly from this Badger that has just been taken out. We snapped the shot on the Avery on the move there, which is a nice bit of luck there. Picking up our fourth kill. We've done 4k damage. There's only 3 tanks left. Again, it's been quite a quick game. The team have done incredibly well in sort of cleaning up. There's just a heavy tank across the way, and now there's this medium tank. I'm going to try and poke up and see if I can get some shots in. See, this medium tank is just sort of YOLOing around. We do get a shot in, squeeze a shot, damaging his ammo rack. He now gets tracked. Can we pick up the kill? No, we can't. He gets taken out by our friendly teammates. But yeah, we did have a sort of half decent game there. Picked up 4.5k damage. We got 4 kills. Come top of the board there. So yeah, not a bad result at all. Picking up a tiny bit of assistance, just 607 there, and yeah, wasn't like I say, wasn't too bad a game. And yeah, first class medal. So yeah, that is it for the Object 277, and we'll move on to the final tank, which is the IS-7, which we have ranked first out of all three. Now, reason being is just the IS-7 is always been a bit of a meta tank, to be honest. Particularly when it comes to comp, you will see a lot of comp teams. There will always be an IS-7 in the comp game near enough, because it is that sort of solid all round. Has got really good mobility, which you'll see here. It's got good shell velocity on the APCR, which is what is run on its premium route. It's got AP as standard, APCR on its premium. You've got quite a bit of spaced armour on the side of the tank, which is obviously decent for absorbing heat rounds and all that sort of thing. You've got a good alpha on the gun, about 490 on the alpha. The aim time isn't too bad, neither is the accuracy. It's not, it's okay for a Russian tank. And the turret armour is just absolutely brilliant. I mean, the armour overall is pretty good. You can side scope in this tank, but it's that turret armour that is really, really good. Some of the bad points of the tank is, the ammo rack gets damaged quite a lot, and when you sort of come up against those sort of tank destroyers like the E4, you can sometimes find that your ammo rack will just get blown clean. And your turret will get blown clean off by E4s and such when they hit, usually sort of the side top of the pike nose. If they sort of pen, if you angle so it sort of gives a flat, the flat piece of your upper plate, then tanks can go through that, and obviously there is a chance of damaging the ammo rack, or fully ammo racking you, depending on what hits. Like say, high alpha tanks can potentially just completely one-shot you. So obviously without the ammo count, you only get 30 rounds, which isn't much. The view range isn't that great because obviously it's Russian, and your gun depression is 6 degrees, so not brilliant. Also, the penetration values aren't great in this tank. It's actually, I think it's the worst one out of the lot. I mean, the APCR is 303 millimeters penetration, which really isn't that great on your premium rounds. When you compare it to 340 on your IS4 and the Object 277, it's actually the worst one out of the three. It's also only got 250mm on your standard pen, which again, a bit on the low side, to be honest. But yeah, other than that, it really is. It really is a decent tank. Like I say, the mobility is great. It's had a speed buff a couple of years back, which just made it insanely quick. And you can run I run the traction system on it as well, because I want to increase that mobility as best I can. It's nice to sort of get up into these sort of, it's nice to get up into sort of the hold down positions as quickly as possible. And we've somehow managed to go through the cupola of that E4. I have no idea how, considering the penetration values aren't that great. But yeah, somehow we actually managed to. So we push right into the corner of the 1 line here. And again, reason sort of being, I wanted to sort of get in sort of advanced position aggressively as possible, because kind of wanted to be sort of the eyes for my team. However, we've made the grand mistake of over peaking there. With tanks in the middle, that's never a good idea, because they're just going to hit the side as soon as you pop up. Perhaps getting a bit greedy there, trying to get some shots into that E4. Now trying to ask my team to sort of get some shots into this E4. Whether they have got shots or not, I'm not sure. But he's now down to a 1 hit, and I'm going to try and see if I can sneak another shot in the cupola, and magically that happened. 9 times out of 10, whenever I shoot an E4 cupola, it never pens. It's just so strong. So the fact that we've gone through with the IS-7, it's just, I don't get it. Very bizarre, considering, like I say, the the penetration values on the APCR are not that great. But we'll take it, and we've kind of cleared out the A1, A2 area there, sort of where your campers are predominantly sit when they're on the other spawn. So we don't have to worry about that. Now I'm coming back because I think I'm going to sort of make a play through the middle. It's quite an even game still. We're one tank ahead, but obviously being this close, things can change quite quickly, as we always know. And there's 2 tanks in the cap, so I'm sort of thinking I want to get the cap lit up and try and take out the tanks that are capping, so I don't have to worry about that issue. There's 2 tanks in the cap. It is in counter mode. We do stop to take a shot onto this light tank though. Again, another priority that we want to get out of the game, because on Fisherman's Bay it's quite an open map. So if you've got a light tank still running that game, if you can try and take them out, then it's going to do you a favour. Particularly at this stage of the game when it's sort of it's quite close, but if it starts to sort of disappear quickly, that light tank could pay dividends. Now we do get a shot into the cupola with that ST2. The ST2 we know has got sort of quite a weak cupola, so we know we can pen through that no problem. We pick up our second kill of the game there. We're up to 3.7k damage and we've done 2.5k assists, so we've not had too bad a game here. But now the cap's been reset and I want to sort of get into a position where I can get some more damage off. Tried sneaking a shot into the RU there, but there we go, sort of looking at the gun depression, and the 60 degrees of gun depression you get doesn't do very well. But the FV 4005 does take out the light tank, meaning we don't have to worry about that guy now too much. Lighten us up, it's just tank destroyers and heavy tanks left. We're trying to see if we can get a shot into that tank destroyer, but he's just backed off into cover, and we don't really have the gun depression either. Like I say, ridge lines not really, they just don't favour this tank at all. It is more of a sort of city map. If you can sort of get into sort of hold down positions, it's great, but like I say, it's hard to sort of fight over ridges with 6 degrees of gun depression. But you can make it work. It's just you just got to be clever with it, basically. So we're not really getting much luck in getting shots into that IS-7. So we're going to sort of push down here and try and see if we can, potentially spot some tanks that we know on the A7, A8 position of the map. We're also trying to see if we could potentially get shots into tank that was in the cap. He's now moved out, but we have seen this E100 crossing, who snaps a shot into us but doesn't pen, but we do get a shot into the E100. We have had to overpoke there to try and get that shot in. I'm being cautious here because obviously I know there's tank destroyers at the back, but which we do get shot on the side there, but again doesn't penetrate. Luckily we managed to bounce that. But like I say, I want to sort of poke up and just keep the vision. However, we do get shot by something that's in the middle. I assume it's the tank that's in the cap. That might well be a tank destroyer. The tank destroyer on the A7, A8 position has popped up. We managed to get a shot into his lower plate there, just as he goes blind again. We're 2 tanks up, so we're not doing too bad, but team's a little bit sort of sporadic on where they're placed. Which isn't too bad. It gives us a bit of flexibility on the map control, I guess. And I'm just biding my time here and just sort of, it'd be good if that light tank could potentially go and spot up, and I think he does light up that SU-122. I'm not sure, that might have been a little bit of me as well. But he quickly gets taken out by our FE 4005 as soon as he's lit. But yeah, I think the light tank is now starting to move around the map, which is good. We can start to hopefully sort of spot up the tanks that are remaining, and we can potentially get some shots in and pick up a bit more damage. We've done okay here. We've got 5.2k damage, which is a nice amount of damage. I'm quite happy with that. But like I say, there's still quite a bit more to get out of this game if we can. So I'm pushing in. I've got 973 hit points, which isn't too bad. I can take probably sort of 2, 3, maybe 4 shots, depending on what we come up against. That E100 will be able to two-shot us if he's running the big gun, which I imagine he no doubt will be. Yeah, we got to sort of play a little bit cautiously. We're not going to sort of go sort of bullishly in thinking that brilliant armour is going to save day, because it can be a bit tricky. The pike nose does work well, but it's got to be sort of facing directly at the tank. But you are that the upper plate can get penned pretty easily if you're not careful. So yeah, you do have to play a little bit cautious. It's not, the i7 is beginner friendly, but it's not, it's not indestructible basically. So yeah, we do have to be careful. And there's a tank destroyer at the back there, and we're just sort of trying to see if we can potentially get shots on. There's a T114 bat here, which is going to be a bit of a pain. Obviously that's their vision basically. He's going to sort of be trying to light tanks up. Now I think there is an enemy FV 4005 somewhere, and I'm not sure where it is. And I've been trying to look for it. The T114 bat looks like it's going to go swimming. We're going to try and see if we can come around and get shots on these heavy tanks. We can see the E100 there. We've got the side of the E100, and we're just going to poke some shots in. He gets taken up by the FV 4005. And then lo and behold, their FV 4005 just pops up out of nowhere in the town and manages to get a shot into the rear, shutting us down. So yeah, not great, to be honest, and a bit frustrating, because we probably should have been a little bit more cautious and maybe just done a bit more of a scout round the town to try and see where the FE 4005 was, because if we knew where it was, then we could have sort of played a little bit more tactical and maybe avoided him. T114 bat is going in and firing shots, but not completely penning. But he does manage to pen his last shot, taking out the FE 4005, bringing an end to the video. So looking at the results screen, we pick up 2 kills, got just over 5.7k damage, picking up 3.5k assists with 1900 blocks. Only the first class, a few more kills, may have secured the ace there. But yeah, that is it, and that's our #1 ranked tank, the IS-7. So that is it for the video, guys. Let me know what you think about this episode of Rank the Tank. Do you think it's sort of fairly well judged in terms of the tanks? Let me know what you think in the comments, guys. And like I say, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. It really does help the channel. And as always, guys, I will catch you next time.